Hello, family. How are you? Welcome to Kai and Nkosi, Soul and Spirit. I am Dr. Kai and Nkosi, and today I want to talk a little bit about astrology. And I don't think enough is said, particularly in our community, about this amazing, awe-inspiring sacred science, as I call it. As you would know, astrology is the sacred sister of astronomy, and it deals with the heavenly bodies and how the ancients and our ancestors studied and observed, and of course studied and tracked the movements and the patterns of the heavenly bodies. And these studies led to great information that is very helpful to any of us on a path of spiritual empowerment, on our independent cultivation of our sacred truth. And so that's what we're all about on this channel. And my goal on this channel is to give you information to help you on your own spiritual path. I think it's very important for you to have the tools of ascension, the tools of spiritual maturity, because it's time to get off the milk, the fairy tales, and the pablum, and to move on to the meat. And to, of course, if we're going to look forward into our future, we do have to look back. And astrology is that sacred science that our ancestors mastered and shared with the world. Behind me on the screen are the Great Pyramids of Giza. And as any student of Egyptology will tell you, that these pyramids were built in a particular location in the earth. And the very tippy top of each pyramid is perfectly aligned with the constellation Orion. And this particular feature is to help us understand that, I guess, the message of the ancients was to share with us, after thousands of years of these beautiful monuments enduring, and the mystery of these monuments being made clear in this time. And that is that our ancient ancestors were sharing with us that we were astrologers. Okay, and so let me move so you can see. There you go. That's Orion's belt, the three primary stars in Orion, and the pyramids of Giza being aligned perfectly with that constellation, as above, so below. And so the ancients were very, very keenly aware of the heavenly bodies, of how the study of these heavenly bodies impact the earth. And it's an understanding that we have lost because the Roman Catholic Church came about and to tell everybody that, hey, this is demonic, this is the devil. And they kept our people, and they kept a great part of humanity without an understanding of this beautiful and amazing sacred science, okay, that we call astrology. And so I wanted to just give an overview. Please hit the like button if you want to go on this journey with me. There's nothing demonic or evil or wicked about studying the heavenly bodies. Is there anything wicked about astronomy, understanding the sun, moon, and stars, and their proximity to the earth and their patterns in the heaven? No, there's not. Astrology is when you actually interpret and give the heavenly bodies a meaning and significance, and how they impact our lives and our world. And so that's what it's about. Astrology can help you unlock your past, present, and future. And so if I could give today's teaching a title, it would be that astrology is the key to the knowledge of self. And for those of you that have studied the ancient world, studied ancient Kemet, and some of your African history, you know that the mystery schools, in order to enter the mystery schools, you had to have a working knowledge of astrology. And at the doors and in the top of the temple gates, there was the proverb, know thyself. Know thyself. And another very famous proverb was, as above, so below. And so both of these proverbs are references to the study of astrology. The only way you're going to know yourself is if you actually begin with the understanding of your purpose in existence as it relates to the time of your birth, the place of your birth, and you know, and the date of your birth is very, very important. That those are the key components of a natal chart. And so, in order to know yourself, you have got to first get your natal chart done. The natal chart is your birth chart. It's a very simple process. You need three things. You need the day you were born. Of course, you should know that, but you also need the time that you were born. And you would need the day you were born, the time you were born, and you would need the location, the city, or the town in which you were born. Those three things are put into an algorithm, a digital platform, and there is a chart, an actual chart that is created, and it is absolutely amazing because the premise is at the exact moment of your birth, all of the heavenly bodies, sun, moon, stars, planets, were all aligned and fixed in a specific place in the heavens at the precise moment of your birth. And the precise placement of these planets at the time of your birth actually can predict many, many, many things in your life and can help to explain, all right, past, present, and future, some events that have taken place in your life, the things that you need to overcome, the things that you need to improve upon in this lifetime. That natal chart can tell you where your wealth will be found, where your abundance will be found. That natal chart can point out to you marriage and partnerships, love affairs, your interests, your career, significant aspects of your career. The place where your career will be successful, the area of life where your career will be successful, point out where the money is. It will point out degrees of fame. That natal chart is powerful. It is so powerful. The first time I had my natal chart done, I was just blown away. I was blown away because it showed the spheres of life in which I would excel and my interest. And it had me down to, it had me pegged down like it was exact. It was exact. And I was just amazed by it. I was inspired by the chart. I learned from the chart. I grew from utilizing the information in the chart, right? So if you're going to move forward in spiritual knowledge that will help you to grow, help you to improve as an individual, help you to ascend spiritually, you have to have that working knowledge. So as I said, the ancients understood that. Every scholar in the ancient world had to have a working knowledge of astrology. Every scholar, every person that was considered a scholar in the ancient world knew astrology. And it wasn't until the Romans came along and demonized this sacred sister, science to astronomy, that, the world was denied. We were denied, spiritual people were denied access to this profound gift that we were given to be able to utilize this sacred science to help us understand our existence and our purpose. And we all know that, but there are specific and precise things that are pointed out that are absolutely amazing. So astrology, of course, the ancients studied it in all cultures. They mastered it in ancient Kemet. And the proof of that would be the pyramid, would be the Sphinx, all of these great monuments, even these pyramids that are built all over the world. Pyramids that were built in Mexico and other places in the world are perfectly aligned with particular constellations. And some people say they were stargates and what have you. They were not the burial chambers of the pharaohs. They were stargates, and they were aligned with the heavens, as above, so below. And so, and then if we look at the scriptures, there are all kinds of references all throughout the scriptures to astrology. And even in the narrative of the birth of Jesus, we find there were three wise men. Why were they wise? They were scholars because they studied astrology, and they followed the star because the star told them that a king would be born. That a king would be born, and they followed the star until, according to the narrative, okay, until they found the king. And so that is one of the perfect references to astrology. And then another one is in my house there are many mansions. What house are we talking about? Because there are 12 houses in astrology, and there are 27 lunar mansions in Arabic astrology. And so we just need to understand that all of the references are there, but the Roman Catholic Church blinded you to these references, and they forbid your understanding of it because you would understand who you are. And that's the whole issue with religion. Religion does not, and religious structures and religious hierarchy, they do not want you to know who they are because you won't need that system. You will transform, you will transcend the system, outgrow the program of mental control is what it is. And you will begin to understand your God-like nature. You will begin to understand that you are divinity in flesh. And that is what religion wants to hide from you. But the day you understand that is the day you break free from the matrix, from the religious matrix, from the economic matrix that they've set up, from this illusion, and wake up to who you really are. That's when you can begin to operate in your true power. So I need you to understand that get your natal chart done. If you need me to help you out with the natal chart, just go ahead and email me at nkosiwisdom@gmail.com. I'll be glad to help you with the natal chart. I'll be glad to get one done for you. And I'm telling you, your life will change because you will see it. It will be before your eyes. Anyway, back to my natal chart. When I got my natal chart done, I realized that all of my gifts were there, all of my interest in spirituality and my obsession with spirituality, my obsession with travel and world travels, with higher knowledge, higher education. I had a lot of the planets in my natal chart were there in the ninth house, okay, which is the house of higher knowledge, higher education, spirituality, religion, philosophy, world travel. It was all right there. And also in the 10th house too, of career and success and all that different stuff. So the natal chart is a tremendous confirmation and a tremendous support for you to be able to look at those key areas of your life and to be able to grow and empower yourself. All right. So I just wanted to read a few scriptures, and then I'm going to talk about the houses, because there are three aspects of astrology that you need to understand. Number one would be the signs or the constellations. We know about the signs. All right. So I'm going to save that for last. Then there would be the 12 houses, because the ancients mapped out the heavens in a circular pattern, and they identified 12 houses or 12 aspects of life. All right. And then the planets, of course, and the planets would include the sun and the moon, the 5 visible planets, and then the 3 planets that were not visible in ancient times, but could only be seen in modern times through, of course, a telescope. So these are amazing features that we need to break down. I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to try to do it all in one video, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about the natal chart at the end. But I want to give you a couple of references from scripture. All right. And, we know that the Bible is a book of, it's a compilation of fragmented mythology from the ancient world. It's a compilation of instruction and counsel and inspiration for many. Absolutely. And it is also considered a sacred text. It's also a book of code. All right. So we do use the scripture to help speak to our audience and to help you see that there's so much that has been hidden in scripture. It's hidden in plain sight. And while the Roman Catholic Church popes were hiding and concealing the truth of astrology and its connection its connection to religious doctrine, and that's a whole nother video. It's called Astrotheology. You can start looking it up on your own if you want. All right, but astrotheology was the early worship of the heavenly bodies, and the heavenly bodies were personified, and we get our figures and characters that we find in the Bible, and we get our narratives from those personifications of the heavenly bodies, and we'll talk about that another time. But the Catholic Church doesn't want you to know the truth, and so the Protestants follow the Catholics and demonize astrology, all right, and tell you that there's something that you should not look into because the truth of your existence is there. The truth of your power, the truth of your innate divinity is there. It's all there. But while the Catholic popes were forbidding you and prohibiting astrology, they were sneaking the astrologers in the back door of the Vatican and seeking counsel and wisdom from them. Okay, all right, and that's documented. I talk about that in my book. Get my book series, Spiritual Intelligence, volumes 1 and 2 on Amazon. Dr. Nkosi, you need to check it out. I mean, it will change your life. If you want to begin to transition out of any religious system that is limiting to you or that no longer serves you, you want to grow, you want more knowledge, you need to get my book series. I'm on Amazon. Dr. Nkosi, Spiritual Intelligence, volumes 1 and 2. Amazing. Mind expanding, will blow your mind. So you need to get that, because everything I talk about on this channel really is to put out there the ideas and the concepts that I write about in my book. Okay, so I just want to read a couple of scriptures. That's what I want to do. I want to set a foundation for you, because scripture is the language that a lot of people speak it, and so I want to help you to see this. All right, astrology is not evil. All right, it's not the devil's work. It's not wicked. It's going to help you to expand as an individual, expand your gifts and talents, and to grow in this lifetime. All right. So Psalms 8 and 3 says, when I consider the heavens and the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have ordained. All right. And so the psalmist is singing and praising the ordination that the moon, the heavenly bodies are ordained. They're not wicked. They're ordained. All right. And they are established for a purpose. All right. And we'll talk about that later. Genesis 1 and 14. Then God said, let there be lights, plural. All right. In the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs, plural. Okay. And seasons, and for days and years. All right. So that word signs means an omen, an appearance of an omen. These are signs. The lights in the heavens. All right. Let there be lights. The lights in the heavens. The ancient people could interpret the lights in the heavens. All right. Whether it was a solar eclipse, a lunar eclipse, whether it were the constellations, the interaction, the movement of the planets. The ancient people learned and had the gift of interpreting these movements and interpreting the signals and the characteristics of each heavenly body, and understood that the energy and the signals that were emitted, all right, have an impact in the earth, as above, so below. All right. And so that was the beginning of astrology and its study and its application. All right. And Luke 21 and 25 says there will be signs for the sun, moon, and the stars, and on the earth, dismay among nations. All right. So there will be signs. Here again, we see the word signs. A sign portends remarkable events, supernatural events. Signs are omens. That an omen is a sign from the heavens that can be read. Ancient people understood these omens, all right, these signs, these lights, the constellations, the sun, the moon, all right. There's a signal that's being emitted by the sun. There's a signal that's being emitted. There's a message in the signal. So these heavenly bodies, whether it's Jupiter or Venus, all emit a particular signal. All right. And they're our first satellites. These are the real satellites. We have technology. We send up satellites, and the satellite emits a signal to the earth, and that signal informs your cable TV and what you're watching and all of your devices and tablets. So these are signals that inform programming in the earth. And so the original signals or the original satellites are the heavenly bodies: sun, moon, stars, planets, each one having its own characteristics, traits, and signals. When these signals are emitted, they impact nations, they impact events, they impact regions, cities, individuals. All right. And it's amazing to learn about it. Job 38 and 32. Canst thou bring forth the Mazzaroth in his season? And the Mazzaroth is a reference to the zodiac. All right. To the zodiac. Job 38 and 32. Canst thou bring forth the Mazzaroth in his season? Or canst thou give Arcturus with his sons, a star system there? All right. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades or lose the bands of Orion? All right. So we've got star systems being mentioned here. We've got the Mazzaroth, which is the Old Testament reference to the zodiac. We've got Arcturus, which is a star system. We've got Pleiades, which is a very famous star system, and Orion, Orion's belt, which you see behind me. So the Old Testament writers were very familiar, all right, with star systems, with the constellations, with the zodiac, okay? So this was in your Old Testament, and they associated the existence of these planets, constellations, the zodiac, with God himself, with the Most High, with the Almighty. Okay, like the Almighty did this. The reference is that the Almighty is responsible for and has ordained, okay, all right, these satellites in the sky, all right, creation, nature. And so it is a beautiful thing. And so, so we have the natal chart I wanted to talk to you about. It requires your date of birth, your place of birth, your city or town of birth, and the time of your birth. So you do have to try to get the time of your birth. If you don't know the time of your birth, if it's not on your birth certificate, you need to call the hospital where you were born and ask for your birth record, ask for that information. They should be able to get you that. You call the hospital and you talk to the records department, and they should be able to get you that information. It's very important to a natal chart, all right? So the first thing that the natal chart will appear, it will give you a view of the 12 houses, all right? We'll talk about the signs and the planets later. They'll give you a view of the 12 houses, and I do want you to see what I mean by the 12 houses, or the 12, each house representing a different sphere of life. Okay, so let me see if I can. Let's see if I can present. All right, let's see. Hold on. Let's see, 12 houses. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm hoping that you can see this. This is a chart of the 12 houses here. And you have over to your left, you have in the inner circle, you can see they're numbered 1 to 12. And you have the first house, which is your appearance, which represents your appearance, your outward personality. And your first house denotes self-awareness or awareness of self. I am. The second house is about your money, possessions, values, and skills. And that particular house is about I have, your personal resources. All right. Your third house is about mental activity, learning, lower education. That means education in the early years of school, siblings, and communication. The third house is about I think, your immediate environment. The fourth house is about your home, parents, roots, inner security. All right. I nurture. The fifth house is about romance, children, fun, and creativity. I serve. The sixth house is about work, service, and self-improvement. All right. And this is about I serve in daily life. The seventh house, which is an important house, is about marriage and other partnerships. The eighth house is about, this is a house of hidden things. I like to say hidden things and shared resources. So they say sex, death, letting go, regeneration, other people's money, and sharing. So sex, death, and taxes oftentimes associated with the eighth house, but also with the eighth house is associated with mysticism and the study of hidden things and the understanding of hidden things, ancient and hidden knowledge, all right? And also, in particular, other people's money. So it's I circulate and then I explore. The ninth house is about higher education, philosophy, publishing, religion, travel, law, spirituality, exploring and cultivating spirituality. This is where your spiritual gurus will be found. And it's called I Explore, Expanded Horizons. And it's about foreign travel as well. The 10th house is about career, status, reputation, vocational purpose, taking power. The 11th house is about friends, groups, goals, and aspirations. All right. And online presence too. Networking with digital groups and online networks and online groups. You will be found in the 11th house there, I Aspire. Group contribution. And then the 12th house is about I Dream, spiritual life, solitude, institutions, transcendence, and self-sabotage is found in the 12th house. So the houses are about house 1, I am, house 2, I have, house 3, I think, house 4, I nurture, house 5, I serve, house 6, I serve daily life, house 7, I partner, house 8, I circulate, house 9, I explore, house 10, I achieve, house 11, I aspire, and house 12, I dream. And so these are the great houses of the zodiac, 12 houses, okay? And so I just wanted to go over those houses. So that's what a natal chart would look like. We would give you a circular pattern of the 12 houses. And in those 12 houses will be at the snapshot of the moment, the exact moment in time and place of your birth, all right? The natal chart gives you a snapshot of where each planet was aligned along the circular pattern of the houses. And each planet has a significant meaning and significant placement within each house tells a story, is revealing about your life, your circumstances, and your potential, your past, present, and future. But more importantly, your potential for greatness, all right? And so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I want you to get your natal chart done. You can certainly, you can get in contact with me, and I would love to do your natal chart. And so I do it for the donation. And so just hit me up in my email, nkosiwisdom@gmail.com. If this video has been a blessing to you, I want you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I want you to help the channel to grow, okay? And we're going to grow together. That's it. We're going to grow together. We're going to learn together. And it's time for us to ascend. It's time for us to get off the pablum, get on to the meat and the work that we are assigned to do, get on to the divine assignment in this lifetime so that we have no regrets and we complete the work that we were assigned to do and called to do in this hour. Okay, nobody's told you that they love you. I want you to know that I love you very much. I'm Dr. Nkosi. I'm signing off. Hit me up, leave a comment. But we're going to also follow this video up with the next ones will be about the planets and also about the signs, right? And we'll put it all together and it'll be a beautiful study, at least a beginning, an introduction for you. And you can take it there, okay? But I'll be glad to hear from you. Hit me up at nkosiwisdom@gmail.com. If nobody's told you they love you, know that I love you very much. All right? And big love. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye.